Hello. Thank you for tuning in to this segment of the 2020 November ballot propositions brought to you by the League of Women Voters of Fremont, Newark, and Union City. My name is Andrea Schachter, and I am a member of the League. I'm going to talk to you today about Proposition 18. But before I do, just a quick word about the League. The League of Women Voters has been around for 100 years, and we started just when the women of the United States got their right to vote after a long, hard battle. The League is a nonprofit organization, and we promote the political responsibility through informed and active participation by citizens in their government. It's really important to say that the League does not promote or support any political party or candidate. We are nonpartisan. However, the League does support certain issues, but only after study and evaluation. Now let's look at Prop 18. This is a voting initiative, and if passed by the voters, would allow 17-year-olds to vote in primary and special elections. In California, ballot measures are brought to the voters either through the initiative process or by the legislature, and this particular one was brought to us by the legislature. Prop 18 is a yes or no vote, as are all propositions in California. It would amend the California Constitution. And it asks the voters to decide, should the California Constitution be amended to allow citizens who are 17 years old to vote in special elections and primary elections if they will turn 18 by the next general election, which is held in November. Let's get a little background on this topic. How are things now? Well, as we know, in order to vote in California, a citizen has to be at least 18 years old on the date of the election. And this is pretty interesting. I didn't know this, but a citizen may pre-register to vote at age 16 or 17. And when they are pre-registered, they are automatically registered by the time they turn 18. An interesting statistic is, by the end of June in 2020, just a few months ago, there were about 108,000 17-year-olds in California who pre-registered to vote. Something else that was interesting that came up during my research is that the state law allows any registered voter to run for elective office. So if this measure passes, it is conceivable that 17-year-olds could serve as elected representatives if they meet other eligibility requirements for that office. Special elections are those called by the governor to fill vacancies. Primary elections are held in even-numbered years, as are the general elections. So this is an even-number year, 2020, we had a primary, and now we have a general election. Local government elections and ballot measures are generally held during those even-numbered year cycles. If Prop 18 passes by the voters, what would be the fiscal impact? There's always a cost. Implementing Prop 18 would likely cost both the counties and the state of California some money, although it is felt to be a minor amount. The workload for county elections officials would increase due to the larger number of people registering to vote. In each 2-year cycle, the cost to the counties could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And additionally, a one-time cost to the state of California also felt to be minor, would likely also be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that would be for updating existing voter systems. The cost to the state would likely be less than 1% of the current state general fund spending. As with all ballot measures, there are supporters and there are opponents. And let's look at what they say. Let's look at the supporters' arguments now. Supporters of Prop 18 say that Prop 18 will allow 17 and 18-year-olds to participate in the full election cycle, from the primary election to the general election. They argue that when people cannot vote in the primaries, it discourages them from voting in the general election because they didn't have a say in the pick. They didn't have a say in who would be on the ballot. They also say that youth of this age are heavily impacted by policy decisions and their voices need to be heard. Youth are very interested and passionate about certain issues, and they should be allowed to vote. They continue by saying Prop 18 encourages young people to be involved in the voting process. And youth voting can create lifelong voters and participants in our democracy. And finally, there are many other states that allow 17-year-olds to vote. We would not be the first. We would not be the first to allow 17-year-olds to vote in primary and special elections. It takes money to get a proposition on the ballot, and also for supporters to make their cases to voters. So let's see who the supporters and the funders are for Proposition 18. Prop 18 is supported by two assembly members, Kevin Mullen and Evan Lowe. They are the sponsors of this proposition. And Prop 18, their major funders are, again, Kevin Mullen for Assembly, and a committee that was developed by Evan Lowe, the Assembly member. Labor unions are in favor of this. They were major funders, as well as the California Democratic Party. Now let's look at some of the arguments against Prop 18. Opponents say 17-year-olds are not workers, they don't pay taxes, and they have no life experience in these matters and should not be allowed to vote on fiscal matters. They also say that people of this age are minors and their brains are not fully developed. They don't have the reasoning ability, logic, or the judgment necessary to form opinions on important matters. They also say that 17-year-olds are still in high school. They spend a lot of their time, much of their time actually, with their teachers who would have an undue influence over them. And they say also that only 18 other states allow 17-year-olds to vote in primary and special elections. Who's opposed to Prop 18? This is a common one, the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association, and an organization called the Election Integrity Project of California. As far as funding the opposition to Prop 18, there were none noted that of major funders. So in summary, voting yes on Prop 18 means that you believe that the California Constitution should be amended to allow 17-year-olds to vote in primary and special elections if they will turn 18 by the next general election. And a no vote means that you believe the Constitution should not be amended to allow 17-year-olds to vote, thereby keeping the Constitution as it is on this issue. So we get to vote on this. Here's a listing of additional websites for your information. You can go more into depth if you wish on, this proposition or any of the proposition on any of these websites. I like the Fair Political Practices website, the third one down from the top, and also the third one up from the bottom, the Secretary of State website. They provide a lot of information. And I also encourage you to take a look at another segment that we produced from the League here, called Evaluating Ballot Measures. It's loaded with really useful information. If you would like to get more involved with the League of Women Voters, please consider joining us. There's a membership form on our website. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for voting.